Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game, where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top, guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
Good day, mate. Welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Rue and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, I'm going to be going through my first draft. So I wanted to wait before bringing you this video. So I wanted to make sure the draft was good and I had as much information as possible before releasing my first draft. If you do like this video, please smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and leave a comment in the comment section below on what you think of my draft. You can be honest, I can take it, don't you worry, but let me know what you think, whether you think it's good, bad, or ugly. Yeah, leave a comment below. We'll start off in goal. So I've gone for Mark Flecken at 4.5 million. He's now currently 13.3% owned, so a lot of people are going for him. He's not up there with some of the top goalkeepers, but he's definitely being brought in and being owned by a lot of managers. In terms of expected points for the first three game weeks, he's got Crystal Palace in game week 1, 3.8 points expected, 3.2 against Liverpool and 4.1 against Southampton. Flecken last season had a bit of a mixed season, I'd say. He only kept 7 clean sheets and he did start 37 games, but he did get an assist. Obviously, we're not expecting that to be a common thing for Flecken, but we know that Brentford do play that way, and potentially you could see him get another attacking return. Yeah, we shouldn't be bringing in keepers for that reason, but just an example, I'd say. Like I said, Flecken last season wasn't the best season for Brentford. Tony was out. They missed a lot of players for injury. Henry was out there, the first choice left back as well. But this season, I can definitely see a difference, and I feel Brentford are going to have a good year. And with them first two fixtures, their first two home fixtures at least, I think Flecken is a good goalkeeper to go for. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. So now on to the defence. We will start with Konza. So for me, I did want to have a cover of that Villa defence. I know last season they did do really, really well. Obviously, they finished 4th. Konza comes in at 4.5 million, which I think is an absolute bargain. He does play right back for Villa most of the time, I'd say. But obviously, he can play centre back as well. But we do prefer him to be playing right back. He started 35 games for them last year. Got a clean goal, and an assist. So 2 attacking returns and only 7 clean sheets, which again is not the best. But I think they had a lot of games last season in the Europa League. I know they've got him this season as well, but I think they've strengthened their squad enough to deal with that. He's 18.5% owned, and like I said, 4.5 million. His first 3 fixtures, to be honest, are not the easiest, but I think after that they do slightly turn for Villa. So West Ham away, Arsenal at home, and Leicester away. So really, you're probably only going to be wanting to play him in the West Ham game and in the Leicester game. The Arsenal game, only 2.2 expected points, so you probably want to bench him for that, and that's what probably I'll do. Next up, we've got Anderson, so another 4.5 million defender who had a very, very good season last season, defensive-wise and attacking-wise. 38 starts, they started every game, he's consistent. That's what you want from your 4.5 million defender. He's over 22% owned, so really highly owned already. He got 10 clean sheets last season, 2 goals scored and 3 assists, so really good attacking numbers as well. For me, I wanted him because he's 4.5 million. I think Palace are going to have a good season under Glasner, and I think he's a bargain for 4.5 million with his attacking threat. The fixtures are a bit iffy, to be honest with you. Brentford away, West Ham at home, Chelsea away. But I could definitely see at least 1 clean sheet in their first 3 and hopefully an attacking return. And for me, that's enough for my 4.5 million defender. Next up, I've got Dan Burn in the team, another 4.5 million defender. There's a little theme going on here that might give away who I've got in the rest of my team. But Dan Burn, again, had a very, very good season last season. 32 starts, 8 clean sheets, 2 goals, 2 assists. And again, he comes in at 4.5 million, which I think is a bargain, to be totally honest with you. There is some talk that when Botman comes back that he might lose his spot, but I personally think he'll go out to left back again. There are some people saying that he won't, so that is one thing to maybe keep an eye on. He's over 23% owned already, which again is very, very high. 4.2 points expected in the first game against Southampton, then Bournemouth 3 points, and then Spurs 3.5. So for me personally, I think the first two games you couldn't really ask for much more. Southampton at home, Bournemouth away, and for me, you know he's going to start them first two with Botman out, and I think he is a defender that a lot of people should be going for, and that's why I've got him in my team. Let's move on to the midfield. So now on to the defence. We will start. So the midfield, we'll start off with the big gun. It is Mo Salah. I've decided to bring Salah into my FPL team. For me, it's the fixtures. If they didn't have them fixtures, I'd probably go for someone else, to be totally honest with you. But I think them fixtures are just too good to pass by. Ipswich away, Brentford at home, Man United away. Then they've got Forest at home, Bournemouth at home. So that's 3 home games in the first 5 games, which is very, very good. Then they've got Wolves away, Palace away, and then kind of a tough run with Chelsea, Arsenal, etc. But definitely the first 5 games is where I'm going to want the Liverpool assets, and Mo Salah is the best asset personally. Last season, he had a quiet season, and he got 18 goals, 12 assists, which is ridiculous still. Very, very good season. And don't forget, he was injured for some of that. He only started 28 games because he went off to AFCON, and then he got injured at AFCON and then missed a few games. So incredible, to be honest, to see that he got 30 attacking returns in 28 starts. It's very, very good. And for me, at 12.5 million, you could argue it is a bit expensive when you can get Palmer for 10.5. Yeah, for me, Mo Salah's worth it, especially with them first 5 fixtures. Next up, Anthony Gordon. Again, I've mentioned Newcastle's fixtures to start off with. They do look very, very solid. Southampton at home, Bournemouth away. Then they've got Spurs at home. Then they've got Wolves and Fulham away. So 3 away games in the first 5 is not ideal. And especially for Anthony Gordon, who does perform better at home, it's not the best. But for me, I think the first 2 warrant starting with Gordon. And he is 7.5 million, so he has gone up a lot since last season, where he did get 11 goals and 16 assists in 34 starts. So what an incredible season he had. For me, though, at that price, I do like Gordon. And for me, the first 2 fixtures are looking very, very tasty. And you could argue, yes, Newcastle are better at home and they've got mainly away fixtures in the first 5. But for me, the home fixtures are very nice, and that's what I'm going to be targeting. Next up is a bit of a differential, to be honest with you, is Callum Hudson-Odoi. 4.9% of you have got him in your team, so maybe not as big as differential as I thought. He's only 5.5 million, and last season he had a good season, I feel like. He started 20 games, so not the best, but he got 8 goals and 2 assists, which for me is decent for a side that are, I guess, not really free-flowing. That is one thing that I'm probably a little bit worried about, is how attacking Forest are. Bournemouth at home, though, the first game of the season, then Southampton away, then Wolves at home. So really good fixtures to start the season with for Forest. And for me, he is my differential at 5.5 million, and I think he's probably the best one at that price point. He's probably going to be only holding him for the first 3 game weeks. Like I said, 4.4 expected points, 4.1, 4.5, so very, very good. Past that, I can't see him staying in my team, but for the first 3, definitely. Bruno Fernandes up next. So this was an interesting position to pick because I feel like there's no one really at this price point at the minute. You've got obviously the top midfielders of Cole Palmer, Mo Salah, Phil Foden, who are above or 9.5 or above. And at 8.5 million, you've only got Odegaard and Fernandes, and then it drops down to 7.5 million. So for me, I do feel like Bruno Fernandes is better than Odegaard, so that's why I've got him in my team. There is an argument to say go for a 7.5 million midfielder, but again, I think Bruno Fernandes being on pens, playing 90 minutes, going to be creating everything good that Man United do. And the season he had last season, again, wasn't his best, but still very, very consistent. That's why I've got him in my team. 13.8% of you agree. 35 starts last season, 10 goals, 9 assists, which is not bad at all. And surely Man United have got to have a better season, surely. That's why I've got him in my team. Fulham at home, Brighton away, Liverpool at home in the first 3. So a mixed bag, you could say, but after that, they've got Southampton and Crystal Palace. So really good fixtures apart from that Liverpool game. And I do expect Man United to be better this season, and Bruno Fernandes is going to be part of that if they are. Let me know what you think in the comment section below about this midfield pick, especially Bruno Fernandes. Am I kind of not looking, not got my eyes open? Is this a bad pick? Let me know in the comment section below, and let's get on to the forwards. So now for the forwards, yes, you guessed it, I've got Erling Haaland in my team at 15 million. It's a tough one. It's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. And the fixtures for Man City are very, very good. So that's why I've got him in my team, especially the first four, I'd say. They've got Chelsea away, Ipswich at home, West Ham away, and Brentford at home. Then they do run into some tough fixtures against Arsenal and against Newcastle. But for me, Erling Haaland, he scored 27 goals last season. I know that is not good compared to his 36 of his first season, but it's still very, very good. He only did that in 29 games, so in almost a goal a game, which for me is ridiculous. And for me, that is priceless, a goal a game. You know he's going to get a goal every game, pretty much, and potentially that's your captaincy option sorted for, 9 weeks out of 10, I'd say. 32% owned, so not as highly owned as previous seasons. I think a lot of people are put off by the price, but really it's only a 1 million more, 1 million more than last season. For me, it's worth it personally, just to not have the headache of thinking of a captaincy option, not have the headache of thinking of a striker that's going to put the ball in the back of the net. I know there's some decent ones at the minute in the Prem, Solanke, Watkins, Isak, who I've got in my team here. But for me, there's none better than Erling Haaland, and for me, that is priceless. So he is in my team. Alexander Isak next, who I've mentioned, had an incredible season last season. 27 starts, 21 goals, 4 assists. Very, very good. He's 54% plus owned, so over 54% owned. It's ridiculous. He's probably, I'll just get it up, but he's probably the highest owned player, if my maths is right. So yes, so he's just below Ollie Watkins. So Ollie Watkins is 56% owned, so incredibly highly, I guess, owned player. Again, like I mentioned, Newcastle's fixtures are very, very good. That's why a lot of people are bringing him in, and I think 8.5 million is a very nice price for him. You could get potentially 2 decent strikers for Haaland's price, but for me, not saying he's not decent, because I do support this team, but I've gone for Richarlison as my third striker. I've basically sacrificed my midfield spot of Callum Hudson-Odoi to get Richarlison. I could drop Richarlison down to potentially a Chris Wood and then upgrade Hudson-Odoi, but for me, if Richarlison starts for Spurs, I think he'll get chances and I think he'll get goals. Last season we saw that. I know he's like to be seen as a banter player, but last season we saw him do that. He started 18 games, he got 11 goals, 4 assists, so 15 returns in 18 games is pretty good, I'd say. And for me, if he does start as number 9 for Spurs, he's going to be getting chances. He's only 1.4% owned, which is still a massive differential. And again, 7 million could be an absolute bargain for Spurs as number 9. Another thing to note with Richarlison, I will mention the fixtures first and then we'll go on to that. Leicester away, Everton at home. Then they've got Newcastle away, Arsenal at home. Then Brentford and Man United. So quite a tough start for Spurs. But I think for the first 2 game weeks, that's where I really want to focus on Richarlison picking up the points. If not, then I can move him on for someone else. But another thing to note with Richarlison is he didn't make it to Brazil's Copa America squad, which I know will be killing him. I know that will be hurting him. That's why he plays football, is to play for Brazil. The geezer's got a Neymar, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho tattoo on his back. So that's his be-all and end-all, and he didn't make that squad. So I think he's going to have a little bit of a fire under him to perform well for Spurs this season. Let me know what you think of my draft. We'll get on to the subs and my AI team rating next, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. So this is my full squad. So the bench is Areola, Robinson, Yarmouk, if I'm saying that right, and Harwood Bells. So again, Not the best bench because obviously I've got Haaland and Salah. Robertson is a decent, I guess, defender on the bench, and Areola's a decent goalkeeper on the bench. But other than that, not looking good, to be honest with you. My team rating by Fantasy Football Hub is 87%, which is good, but is not the best, I'd say. And my game week rating is 86%. Obviously, I think improvements would be potentially someone like Callum Hudson-Odoi and Richarlison out, and potentially sorting out my bench a little bit. But overall, I'm not too sad with that team rating, 87%. I think with more information in pre-season, I can sort that out. But if you did want to get your team rating, definitely scan the QR code on the screen, check the link in the description. It's completely free. You can get your team rated by AI. It's quite a fun thing to do. I never thought when I started playing FPL, well, all them years ago, it must have been about 12 years ago now, that I could get my team rated by AI, and it's here. So definitely check it out. It's quite a fun thing to do, and see how you compare to my team. Leave a comment in the comment section below of what you think of my team. What would you rate it as a percentage? You might be smarter than AI, who knows. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.